and He will gift you of His qualities. So if He is Al-Kareem, right, He can make you, right, He is the generous. He can gift you of His quality, right, of being generous. And from that giving, you come to know His quality of His generosity. And so, gaining or attaining attributes, right, or what we call adab, or what we call, right, character or knowledge, these are actually all processes of experiencing Allah. Why do I want to be generous? Because I want to taste, right, what a glimpse of Allah's generosity is, right? And so when we talk about during Ramadan, like, you know, Ramadan is a month where we're going to, right, cleanse ourselves, where we're going to detox, where we're going to discipline the nafs, where we're going to read more Quran, where we're going to, right, practice better manners. We talk about these things, but we talk about them from like a self-help, quotes.com type of improvement of self. We talk about them from, or in a way that's disconnected from the experience of Allah. Why do I want those things? Because I want to know Allah in a deeper and closer, more personal way. And that's what we're, inshallah ta'ala, doing during this session, is we really want to get personal, right? So I just, basically what I walked you guys through is a very personal form of iman, like how to know Allah in a very relatable way, right? So if I just, you know, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, smiled at every person who walked through that door, right? That through that experience, I can start to say to myself, like, if I as a human being have the ability to be present, to uplift other people through that smile, right? Imagine, right, the light of Allah uplifting all of humanity from moment to moment, right? That I can get a glimpse of the divine through the attaining of qualities, right? And inshallah ta'ala, you know, that's some personal iman. And Imam Deeb is going to be teaching us right now a beautiful concept, which I love, and I told him you have to come and teach this, personal fiqh. And so inshallah, please come with your full heart, inshallah, and give a listen. And after that, we will be praying Maghrib, and then we're jumping into dinner and our next suhbah activity, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallah feekum wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Tafadhal Shaykhna.
Round of applause for Nasif.
You gotta do that.
I shouldn't have to tell you. Is there any way I can use the whiteboard?
I'll get you a whiteboard.
Yeah. Are you guys okay with me stepping down and using a whiteboard?
That one's too small. For Wes.
That one should be fine. I'll write big.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I can write big.
We have a big.
Oh, okay. As long as it wants to.
Yeah, for Wes. Tahmid, can you go with him and get the conference room, the one in the conference room?
Don't worry, we'll have something to do in the meantime. I got something planned. But I'd like to draw some of this stuff out for you, so that it's very easy to understand, inshallah. In the meantime, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, if you have a note on your phone or a paper or whatever, when you hear the word fiqh, what do you think about? When do you think about? When you hear the word fiqh, what's coming to your mind and what's coming to your heart? What thoughts do you have? What feelings do you have? I want you to write those down. And maybe it's nothing. I've never heard this word before in my life. That's fine. But I doubt that. Most of you have heard the term. What are you thinking and feeling when you hear the word fiqh? Take a few minutes to jot some stuff down. Be exhaustive. Everything you feel and think about when you hear the word fiqh, write it down. Don't just give one or two, no technical definitions. Because this whole thing is about how do we as individuals who are unique, we may have the same compositions, but they manifest very differently. We are in tune with them very differently. How do we feel about this term? What do we think about this term? Now, if you're done, here's your second activity. I want you to go to a blank sheet of paper, if you have a blank sheet of paper. And on one section, put what, the word what. And on another section, put the word how. And the what, I want you to make an exhaustive list of all of the things that you know you want and need to do to have an enjoyable, beautiful Ramadan. Write those down. That's all I want you to do, just the what. What are the things that are going to allow you to have a beautiful and joyful Ramadan? Are you weak in your prayer? Yeah, that's fine. You're right here. That tone gives me anxiety, by the way. That was my ringtone when I was like a really busy time of work. So whenever I hear it, I'm like, oh shoot, I got work. Someone's calling me. Yeah, this is right in the middle. Right in the middle. Tahmid, is this good for the camera and stuff? Where do you want to place it? You're the expert. Okay. All right. What do you need to do, want to do, have to do to have the most beautiful Ramadan this year ever? What is that? Write it down. Make an exhaustive list. You don't have to do it all, but make an exhaustive list. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me without the mic? Cool. No. I just stopped using it. But that maybe that was happening before. Are you good? You can hear me? Okay, you guys made your list. Raise your hand if you need more time. Conceptions of fiqh in your list. All right, 2 more minutes. Quick. I mean, not quick. Oh, dang it. Relax. Everything's going to be okay. $30 seconds. You guys good? Yeah? Need anything, Sheikh, before I get started? Okay, cool. So, our faith is three-dimensional. You guys kind of already know this. And I say kind of because a lot of us may have not had the time to think about this very deeply. That's fine. That's why we do this. What is Islam? Besides the fact that it's the name of our religion or worldview. I don't like using the word religion, worldview. What is Islam? This dimension of our faith. Huh? Submission, what does that mean? Like making dua or making sure that I'm not punching someone or like feeling in my heart that Allah exists? What is this? Way of life. That's true. It's true. But like, get specific, because is Iman a way of life too? Is Ihsan a way of life too? So like, what is this dimension? Yeah?
It's the action part. It's the action.
Good, the actions. Actions. This is what we do. Okay? Do. Things we do. That actually do. Okay? Now, we have a science. By science, what do I mean? A subject matter in the tradition of Islam, the worldview, big Islam now, that is devoted to just our actions. What is that called? Very good. That's called fiqh. Linguistically, it means to have a profound understanding of something. Why would the scholars choose that to be the term that describes our actions? Any ideas or theories? For those who like to philosophize, maybe overthink like me. Why would they use this that actually means, when the Prophet ﷺ ever used this, he was talking about deep understanding. This became the same term to describe the science or subject matter devoted to human action. Why? You should probably have a deep understanding of the things that you do before you do them. Do you get that? Iman. That's the second dimension of our faith. Technically, it's the first, but who's counting? Who cares? Iman, they're all important. Iman, what does that mean? Huh? Belief. Okay, so what is this dimension supposed to teach us? How do we live this? Living Islam, this dimension, is doing stuff. Cool. What do we do here? Inward? Tell me more.
So basically, this is what you believe in the heart, basically. And so what you believe in the heart is going to be acted upon the lips. That's what.
Right. ما وقر في القلب وصدقه العمل. That is a definition. That is a definition. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Oh, Fawaz, you want take a jab? Take a jab, bro.
Maybe Iman is more about your body, for example. Maybe, yeah, like, like your mind,
Ooh.
what you're thinking.
What you're thinking? So, Iman actually means faith. Faith also means security. The security that comes through faith. Why did I put mind up here? Body we understand. Things that we do because we do that with our body, self-explanatory. Why would the word, the dimension that describes faith, have something to do with our mind?
Because it protects our mind.
Protects our mind. Close. Very good. How?
For like negative thoughts by believing.
Belief. Very good. Very good. Remember, I'm doing this because sometimes these terms are used synonymously and in different ways depending on the context. What I'm giving you is precise definitions that are able to be applied, because that's what we want to do with our faith. We want to figure out how to best apply it. And to do that, you have to have precise definitions of things. When you study in seminary, one of the first things they teach you, if you go to a seminary that teaches logic, which is most seminaries, but our educational system has been broken, so some seminaries don't teach logic. There's a huge story about that that's related to colonialism. We don't have time to go into it. But if you study logic, or really any text, you learn the idea of how a definition is supposed to be. And there's this idea of it being a jami' mani'. It is all-inclusive, but also all-exclusionary.
It wants a definition is supposed to include all possible meanings and exclude any meanings that don't relate to it. This is what we mean by having precision in our understanding. Now, Iman, this dimension, is beliefs. What is the science devoted to this? The subject matter. What is that called? Very good. Aqidah. What is another term? Anyone know? I know why you don't know it. It's because the last 100 years has been an assault on this science. Kalam, which literally means like speech. Kalam, Aqidah, is the science of theology. In Arabic, this means theology. Fiqh, in English, in Arabic it means theology. In English, fiqh means law, not jurisprudence. Not jurisprudence. It means law. Get precise, okay? You're a Muslim. You shouldn't be sloppy with how you understand your faith and how you use words about your faith. Get precise. Because that's what our golden age, even though it wasn't just a period of time, it was throughout history, right? We were very precise by how we understood things. Aqidah, kalam, is the science of theology, which is different than doctrine. Doctrine is what you believe. God is one. Is God a white man chilling in the sky, sitting on a throne? That is not a trick question. No, he's obviously not. God does not sit on some physical throne. Anyone who says that has not studied basic theology or has been taught by someone who thought they knew theology but really didn't. May Allah forgive all of us. Ameen. There's a difference between theology and doctrine. Doctrine is, here's the set of stuff that you have to believe in to be a Muslim. Why did I put mind? Because doctrine cannot be alone without the science that helps us understand why we believe what we believe. And the idea of mind is to help us understand that faith itself, composed of the things that we believe, cannot be purely rooted in superstition, in religious experience. They have to be intellectually rigorous, and I don't want to use the word reasonable, but they have to be grounded in reason. They have to be. This is not controversial, by the way. I know it sounds controversial, but it's really not. It's really not. And there are, till this day, in deserts of Mauritania, children as young as 10 that are not just learning God as one, they're learning arguments for the proof of God. Okay? Islam is about what we do, and there's a science devoted to that. Iman is about what we believe. What is this ihsan thing? What is this? Huh? Very good. How?
Our state.
Our state? Tell me more.
The spiritual state that we in, how we connect things to Allah in the afterlife, and how we go through the world.
Very good. So our spiritual state, that's a part of it. Ihsan linguistically literally means beauty, not excellence. Because actually the idea is beauty, true beauty is internal, and that is achieved through excellence. So ihsan is the methodology of synthesizing what we do with what we believe in a manner that is most excellent, and the methodology of religious experience. That's what this means. That was a big one. I'm going to repeat it.
Yes, please.
Ihsan is when Islam and Iman are synthesized. What we do, what we believe, is done with excellence and the methodology of religious experience. How do we attain an experiential understanding of God's presence? That produces beauty. That's what beauty is. Do you know why it produces beauty? This is my whole theory. We don't have time for it. Imam Safwan, where are you? He's not here. All right, someone tell me when there's like 5 minutes before 6. Can someone volunteer for us? Cool. The reason why this is called beauty, if you actually think about what beauty is defined by that which gives us meaning. That which gives us meaning. And there are objective aspects to beauty. No one looks at the mountains of Pennsylvania and say, the mountains are looking oddly ugly today. Such a weird thing to say, right? Maybe if you said that, you'd be like, well, because mountains in Denver are more beautiful. But no one looks at mountains or stars and say, man, those are some ugly things in the sky. There's objective aspects to this. Because beauty is defined by that which gives us meaning. And really at the core of meaning is all of it's a reminder of Allah. And that is only achieved when what we do is done with excellence, in synthesis with what we believe, that allows us to, as the Prophet ﷺ told us, worship, devote yourself to God as though you see Him, and when you don't, He's seeing you. Chap and Sundas did a great job. This, what science was devoted to this? What subject matter? It's not controversial, even though it feels like it is. Say the word, it's okay, it's not haram. Tasawwuf. Say it with me. Tasawwuf. You didn't want to say it? Say tasawwuf. You did not commit a sin by saying that. You can call it whatever you want. You want to call it tazkiyah, no problem. You want to call it like tahdhibun nafs, it doesn't matter. The traditional term was tasawwuf because that word was related to a Sufi, which was someone that had safa al-qalb, a purity of heart, only achieved when your faith is lived with excellence, where you are in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all that gunk inside, there is no longer room for it. And it dissipates until you have a clarity of mind, clarity of heart, and a purity of being. That's why this is a beautiful word. And the fact that we've been on an assault campaign for the last 60 years in America on this word shows us how ignorant we have been. May Allah forgive us, and that's all we should be saying. May Allah forgive us. Those are the three. But we're not here to discuss Iman and Ihsan. I want you to share with me, what are some things that came up when you talked about fiqh, when you thought about fiqh? Can you guys share that with me real quick? Raise your hand. Not all at once, please. Just be. What thoughts came in, what feelings came out when you're talking about fiqh? Structure? Interesting. Go ahead, Dean.
Like an advanced concept.
Something advanced, okay? That's true. It's like very, yeah. Ruling, okay. Anyone else? Stability. Flexibility, okay. I don't usually hear that about fiqh, but that's good. Ustada? Constraining. Yeah, I want feelings, guys. Framework. Did you know that that's like one of my favorite words? Someone raise their hand? Yeah? Scholarly. This is a formality. I can't even read what I'm writing. Anyone else? This is literally a teaching formality. Anyone else? Feelings, thoughts? Roadmap. That's 2 words, so it's not going to look like anything. All right, anyone else? Yeah? Guidelines. Very good. Anyone else? I'm writing like a physician. You know, it's true. They really don't have good handwriting. I'm sorry for the physicians in the room. I've seen it. I was telling one of the uncles, my first like cool title job, I was like a 16-year-old. I was like managing a free health clinic. And I got intimately in touch with the bad handwriting of physicians. So it's not just a stereotype. Someone had their hands? Yes? Huh? Freedom. Whoa. Yes.
Rules and regulations.
Rules, regulation. What does that even mean? Sometimes we have like these terms that we use, like jurisprudence. We've been using that word for decades. No one bothered to look it up. That's the funny part. Like, anyone in law knows jurisprudence is the theory of law. Fiqh is not theory of law. Right? But you had your hand raised? Forgiveness. And maybe jurisprudence has another connotation, I don't know. But I looked this up. Allahu A'lam. Anyone else? Yep. Mizan. What does that even mean? Balance. Okay. Anyone else? Huh? Understanding. It's true. Okay, we have a pretty awesome list. I don't know what the heck this was. That's a pretty flexibility, rules and regulations, framework. All of this is true. All of this is true. Now, think about that in terms of what we talked about when fiqh is the way by which we understand human action. So now that you told me all this, give me an example of fiqh. Give me an example of fiqh.
How to pray?
Yeah, different ways of praying.
Is fiqh how to pray?
No.
It's a different kind of praying. You know, like sometimes you can put your hands up here, sometimes you can lean down.
Okay.
And you can, that's,
You put your sadil, right?
yeah.
If you're Maliki. Qabd, if you're Maliki. We got both. We got both. You're not wrong. It's telling you, okay, what do you do? And pray, because it's all about action. It's not theory about how to pray. You know, prayer is just like the reverberations of your heart when standing on the side of the road. Nah, that sounds cool and all. That's not how you make salah, right? Because when we say prayer and fiqh, we're talking about salah. Now, fiqh, as you guys accurately defined, is human action, right? But it's not just the fact, a lot of us think of salah, right? But it's not just salah. Like there's a fiqh of whether I'm allowed to punch Zahid. I swear I'm not a violent person, but this wakes everyone up, right? Am I allowed to punch him? Who says yes? Of course, his father. What did you do, bro? I thought you were a good kid, right? Raise your hand if you say, I'm not allowed to punch him. Oh my goodness. How is this a confusing question? Raise your hand if, depending on context, you can punch him. Too many people of the men, women are like, no, non-violence. Now, that discussion, if you tell me, like Ustada for some reason says, you know what, I spoke to his father, pretty sure it's a good thing for his discipline for you to punch him. I don't know. And she's like, I looked at the Quran and the Sunnah and I was like, you know, this is an accurate context. The fact that I'm allowed to punch him and do it, that's fiqh. Salah, Allahu Akbar, fiqh, right? Which is the actual doing of something that has ethical implications. I'm going to repeat that. It's the actual doing of something that has ethical implications. Guess what? You're a Muslim. You know what that means? Everything you do has ethical implications. Right? Plot twist. So, where you walk to, ethical implications. Can I go to Las Vegas and gamble? Guys, what? Do we have any gamblers in the room? It's okay. You know, there's inshallah, may Allah forgive you, but can I go to Las Vegas and gamble? Of course not. It's haram. That's fiqh. Where do we get all this stuff from? You're gonna find out that the title of this actual session is going to be like 5 minutes. Most of this is just preliminary work, right? Quran, you guys said Quran and Sunnah. What is the Sunnah? This is a trick question. Huh? How the Prophet lives his life. Any other answers? Someone said Hadith. Hadith, everyone says Hadith. Actions. Sunnah is the way of the Prophet ﷺ. We understand that through reports that are Hadith. Sunnah is not Hadith. They're not the same thing, according to my school of thought. And it's not, I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up, right? And this is an important distinction because sometimes you may have a hadith, a report about something that happened that may contradict the overall spirit of the Prophet ﷺ's lived example. What do we do with that? There's a whole discussion. It's really cool. No time to go into it. Now, how there's a science called, we're getting close, guys. Stay with me. There's a science called Usul al-Fiqh. I just forgot the al because who cares? Sorry, I'm going to rush right now. Usul al-Fiqh. Usul al-Fiqh, how do we look at the Quran and the example of the Prophet ﷺ through hadith and categorize the ethical implications of human action? The end result, fiqh. I'll give you an example, don't worry. This is called legal theory or jurisprudence, the technical definition. Now, through this science, we learn, it's really awesome by the way, everything that you do is going to fall into one of 5 categories. Who wants to tell me what they are for a, do we have like candy or something? Dates? I don't know. Dates? Someone who hasn't raised their hand yet. Who wants to tell me what these 5 are? Everything that you do is related to 5 categories. It's going to fall into one of 5 categories. Yes. Oh, sorry. You're next. Okay, hold on. I forgot. I was supposed to write. You guys probably can't even read this. Wajib? What else? Okay. What else? Jaiz? Not the term, but let's keep moving. Huh? Mahmoud? Maqbool? Makruh. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Our favorite word, haram. We love this word. Who wants to tell me the middle one? You still get dates if we're allowed. Huh? What? I'm sorry? Bad? Fad? Oh, fard. That's the same thing as wajib, technically, not unless you're Hanafi, but we can't do that. You had an answer? Mubah. Thank you. Round of applause for our participants. Okay. Woo! We got 15 minutes. Let's do this. Everyone pay attention. Wajib. Everything that you do is going to fall into one of these 5 things, okay? It's either going to be something that's wajib, which is an obligation. This means if you do it, you're rewarded. If you don't do it, you're held accountable by Allah. We don't say punished because we don't know Allah may forgive you. You're held accountable. Mustahab. If you do it, you're rewarded. If you don't do it, you're chilling, it's okay. It's recommended. Obligation, recommended. O-R. Mubah. If you do it, who cares? It's cool. If you don't do it, also who cares? It's cool, right? Eating biryani. Is it fard, mustahab, Or is it an obligation, recommended, or neutral? Neutral. Biryani. This is the divisive topic. Wajib. Anyone else? Anyone else? What is the real answer? The real answer is it could be any of these. Because at the base it's neutral. But if you're eating biryani because it has essential nutrients that allow you to go to Taraweeh energized and you're doing it for that intention, it's recommended. If biryani is the only thing you have to survive and you hate biryani, but you need it to survive, you have to eat it. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. What is makruh? Dislike or disapproved or hated. If you do it, you're not held accountable by Allah. You're not going to be punished. But if you don't do it because it's disapproved, Allah's going to reward you. Our deen is so awesome. What's haram? If you do it, then you're a human being. We all do it, right? Unfortunately, may Allah forgive us. If you do it, you're held accountable by Allah. If you don't do it, you're rewarded by Allah. You want to know something cool? Out of all the things that I mentioned, the most rewarded thing to do is stay away from haram, not necessarily to do good stuff. Did you know that? It's actually more rewarded to not do things that Allah has forbidden, because those are the sacred boundaries. Okay, we said this stuff helps us categorize human action. The moment I say prayer is an obligation, fiqh. Means you have to do prayer. That's fiqh. All right, we're coming to a close. Get ready. What in the world is personal fiqh? What do you guys think that is? I had you do a list of all the things you want to do. What you should do or have to do or want to do to make this a beautiful Ramadan. Okay? Give me one of them. Huh? Fasting. Great. Fasting. Guys, tell me. Is it an obligation? Is it recommended in Ramadan? In Ramadan. Is it, what is it? Fard. What do you have to do to fast? Well, suhoor. Wow. I'll be honest, I didn't expect that to be like the first immediate response. Right? I need to have suhoor at your place. Because it's clearly a big deal. What do we do when we fast? What is it? What do we have to do? To fulfill this obligation, what do we have to do? Tell me, what is it?
No backbiting.
No, but that's a great point. Can you have an acceptable, valid fast if you're backbiting a bunch of people? Yes. By law, you can. Whether Allah is going to be happy with you, that's not in my hands. We know Allah is not going to be happy with you. But we're talking about siyam. We're talking about fasting. What do we have to do? Okay. Basically, nothing past throat, in stomach. That's we're getting precise. So no eating, no drinking, no smoking. All that could be halal, not smoking, could be halal outside of Ramadan. In Ramadan is haram. What else? Great, within a duration. So I'm going to just teach you stuff that are cool. Because you guys are brilliant, and there's no reason you don't need to learn this. Fasting, right, is imsak, niyyah, zaman. Now you have like a cool thing to throw in your halal cocktail parties and stuff like that, right? Imsak is refraining from what? Food, drink, anything in the stomach, as well as any sexual relations, whether they be halal or haram. Sexual relations, Niyyah is having the intention. Zaman, which it means time, within a specific time period. All of this is ordained by Allah. All this is ordained. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. All this is ordained by Allah. Okay, here's the exciting part. Are you guys ready? What in the world would personal fiqh be? Not how you interpret it. Because it's pretty clear. Imsak, niyyah, zaman. Are you raising your hand or are you just like stretching? Videographer. All right. What's personal fiqh?
When you enhance the standard.
Tell me more.
Well, it's like this. It's if you have a requirement for something, but you have determined you can enhance it by adding something else in a voluntary way.
Enhance the standard? Okay, we're going to come back to this. It's really good. Yes? No, because we already said that's fiqh. Your ibadat, your practice of religion, we call that fiqh. What is personal fiqh?
Depending on your physical condition, you can have personal.
That's still fiqh. But that's a really good answer. By the way, I don't expect you to know this because I literally made up this concept. It's not in books, right? I made this up, so I don't expect you to know, but I want you to think about it. If we already know what we're supposed to do, what would personal fiqh, and that's called fiqh, what is personal fiqh? Yeah?
So it's like how myself, what do I need to do to get there?
Great! Did you hear what he said? How do I get there? How do I get there? You know what you don't find in fiqh books most of the time? You don't find fasting is this. And one of the things I really recommend for y'all is like try not to eat 3 iftars before you go to Taraweeh. Because we're trying to just understand what is like the minimum. What are the foundations? What are we supposed to do by Allah and His Messenger? Every one of you is responsible to figure out how you get there in the best way possible, in the most enhanced manner possible. Imam al-Ghazali, he says there are 3 levels of fasting. Who can tell me what they are for another prize that we theoretically have? That may not exist. Okay, it's real. We have dates. Allahu Akbar. What are the 3 levels of fasting? According to Imam Ghazali, who some have considered the greatest scholar in the history of Islam. The default? What is that? Level 1. This stuff. What's level 2? Level 1 is just to do this. Level 2 is to refrain from doing other bad actions by using the spirit of Ramadan to inspire you to get there. That's level 2. So you're not just going to, like you said, you're not only going to refrain in a period of time from food, water, sexual relations, have an intention, but you're also not going to backbite. That's level 2. What are my bad habits? How am I going to conquer 1, 2, 3, maybe 7? I don't know. Maybe some of you are superhuman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to conquer our nufus. That's level 2. What is level 3? Oh, snap. It's getting spicy. This one's spicy.
The heart, fasting of the heart.
Well, like what?
Being aware of your thoughts and trying to focus on remembering Allah and staying away from other than that.
Okay, so very, very good. So fasting of the heart technically is also level 2 because we believe anything wrong that we do impacts our heart. Level 3 is fasting from bad thoughts. That's Allahu Akbar. May we get there. Now let's talk about personal fiqh. Show me, what are you going to do to have a level 2 fast? Are you going to find that in a fiqh book? Plot twist, you won't. Show me how to have a level 2 fast. You don't need me. You actually don't need me to do this for you. Give me examples. Let's say I want a level 2 fast, so I'm not just going to do the bare minimum, which we already know how to do. Like, we don't need to do personal fiqh of that, right? Most of us, even if we're like, I don't know, waking up at like 12 p.m. or something, you made niyyah at the beginning of Ramadan, so you're fasting from the basic stuff, we're good. You have a problem with gossip. What are you going to do? How? How?
Change your environment.
Okay, so I got a gossip problem. One of you said environment. What in the world is that? An E? Environment. Anyone else? How? Discipline how? Bite your tongue. How? Huh? A community of? Accountability. Okay, so tell me how you're going to have accountability from other people. Huh? Okay. Does it also require you to call some people and be like, can you hold me accountable? Would that be a practical? Islam is really easy. But a lot of us struggle because for whatever reason, the personal agency of our own Islam has been removed. So you assume you need a fatwa for everything. What? You know, fatwa for me? For you to call some friends and say, I got like a pornography problem. I need you to put a password in my phone. And every time that I really need it, I'm going to call you for this password while you're next to me. That's personal fiqh. That's personal fiqh. You don't need a fatwa for that. It's applied spirituality. It's applied deen. And guess what? This is the most important part of your deen. This is how discipline doesn't just become a word, it becomes a reality. Because now you have steps, you have a roadmap. You guys wrote a bunch of things that you want for Ramadan. Spoiler alert. I really like movies, so I hate spoilers, but this one is a very obvious spoiler alert. If you don't have a plan for that, and a personal fiqh plan for that, it's not going to happen. I promise. Yes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, all right. I thought everyone was raising their hand all of a sudden. I was like, okay, great. Finally some participation. No, I'm joking. You guys have been participating amazingly. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So let's do one more example. Actually, we'll do 2 more examples. One that's very close to all of us. Salah. Raise your hand if you pray 5 times a day semi-consistently. Great. Raise your hand if you've ever prayed 5 times a day. Like even once, you prayed all 5 of your prayers. I didn't say on time, I just said 5 prayers. Okay, great. Salah. Have you ever thought to yourself, why am I 35, 43, 28, 18? Something that's so basic, simple. Do you know how much it takes out of your day? Who can tell me how much salah takes out of your day? Do not say 15 minutes, because then you're exposing yourself. 5 prayers. All 5. How much would it take? 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maximum an hour. You spend more time just figuring out what you're going to watch on Netflix. You're not even watching it. You're literally spending at least an hour just scrolling through films you've never heard of and watching previews. Why do we still not pray on time? And by the way, the Maliki school is awesome. You know what praying on time means? Within the window. It's not like the adhan, bam. No, it's having a system whereby today, Dhuhr is at this time, Asr is at this time, Maghrib is at this time. Within that window, you would have gotten the reward of praying on time. Why is that something we struggle with?
Sometimes people see it more as an obligation rather than something that's...
Okay, great. Let's sit with this for a second. I know I got 2 minutes. Relax, don't worry. How many of you do obligations and chores that you do not like that you're still consistent in? Raise your hand. Oh, so you're telling me it's possible to do things that we may not be feeling sometimes consistently? So that can't be it. You know the answer. It goes back to your personal fiqh. How is salah a priority in your day? How have you planned for it to be a priority in your day? Is it even something you think about? Or is it, I'm going to go with the flow, wake up at a certain time, and subhanAllah, I'm working and doing all these things, and then, oh my goodness, it's Maghrib time, and I haven't even prayed Fajr. Everyone who laughed exposed themselves. No, I'm joking. It is a funny idea, right? It's because where is your personal agency in making that a priority? What is your plan for that to be a priority? One last example. One of the greatest sunnahs of fasting in Ramadan is what? Not a trick question. I know it sounds like it. I need to stop doing that. Maybe I need to talk lower. One of the greatest sunnahs of fasting in Ramadan? Okay, it still sounds like a true question for some reason. It hasn't worked. Anyone? Huh? Reading the Quran? What is something the Prophet ﷺ did that he never not did? He never didn't do in Ramadan. Say it. Come on. Suhoor. It's like suhoor. Question. Suhoor is an amazing sunnah. Why don't we get up for suhoor? You have to think about that for yourself. Why are you not getting up for suhoor? You got to jot them down and conquer them. Maybe because I'm eating 16 iftars and I'm sleeping not just through suhoor, I'm sleeping through fajr, I'm sleeping through my life because I had 16 iftars. You know what I'm talking about? We fast, but then what we would have normally eaten through the day, we quadruple that in a span of 30 minutes at iftar time. So we're eating 6 dinners. So personal fiqh is figuring out why can't I make it for suhoor and how can I figure those out so I can be up for suhoor. That's not going to be in a fiqh book. You're not going to get some fatwa from a sheikh. You need to take personal responsibility and agency. And the last thing I'm going to teach you, so you might think, where did you get this from? Is this just made it up without deen or something? I'm going to teach you another really cool principle at your halal cocktail parties you can throw out whenever you want. It's a legal maxim. It says, ما لا يتم الواجب إلا به فهو واجب. ما لا يتم الواجب إلا به فهو واجب. This is a really cool concept. I promise you pay attention, it'll be worth it. Whatever an obligation cannot go without also becomes an obligation. Salah, can you just wake up and say Allahu Akbar? Why not? Means wudu. If you take that principle and extrapolate it, suhoor is a great sunnah. And we know we need to do certain things to be able to accomplish that sunnah. It's going to look differently for every one of us. Even fajr, which is a fard. Some of us are I don't understand why fajr is so hard for people. Well, maybe because you're not an insomniac, right? We're different people. And we need different things and different approaches and different tools and techniques that make up our personal fiqh to accomplish the things that Allah and the Prophet ﷺ want us to accomplish. So for suhoor, it's not an obligation, but it's this great sunnah. So whatever you do that allows you to do this sunnah, guess what? Becomes something you're rewarded for. Whatever you do to be able to accomplish a fard act becomes something you're rewarded for. So my plea to all of you is take that list and figure out the how. You don't need me. You know the tool now. You know that you're different. Not all of you are the same. And I promise you, if you ask the right questions, your heart and mind will give you the answers. Do you have all the answers within you? You have them within you. The Prophet ﷺ proved this by telling us, Al-ithmu ma hakka fi sadrik wastafti qalbaka wa in aftaka an-nasa wa aftuk. Istafti qalbak. Consult your heart regardless of what people tell you. That doesn't mean, Imam Safwan said, it's like fard to pray 5 times a day, but my heart's telling me never to pray. No, that's not how it works. Islam, Imam Safwan is teaching you the deen. But what you have to do is consult your heart and mind to come to a plan, a discipline that works for you to accomplish those things. Barakallahu feekum. Let's break for Maghrib.